guys, it's Sam and I'm here to do my December wrap up. I had an okay reading month in December. I didn't do great, but I didn't do very poorly. I read about 8 books, and I'm actually really happy with that because December was crazy. It was just a busy month, and a lot of you may have had the same thing happen where you're so close to your reading goal, but you also feel like you can't really finish it. Like, I wanted to finish a few more books before the end of the year. I did a end of the year TBR and I wanted to complete some series and stuff like that. But the closer I got to it, the more like I just didn't feel like reading, and it was just kind of a mess. And I was also traveling home, and you would think during a really long car ride that I would have gotten a lot of reading done, but I didn't read like anything at all during the car ride, and it was just like really bizarre reading month. So 8 is something I'm very satisfied with, and I end up reading all the books that I wanted to read before the end of the year. So yay for me. So the first book I read this month was Sekret by Lindsay Smith. This is about a group of psychic teenagers who are working for the KGB in Russia in the 1960s. So they are kind of affecting all of the political Cold War things that are happening during the 1960s. And it's a really interesting premise, but I felt like it fell a little short for me. I think it might have been because I was in a bit of a book hangover from The Winter's Curse. I didn't think that I was, but it very well could have been. And I just couldn't connect to any of these characters. And it was very interesting because all these psychics have a different kind of psychic ability, so their psychic ability works a little bit differently for all of them. Some of them can kind of like project themselves psychically, some can get kind of like a clairvoyancy where they can touch things and that's how their psychic abilities work, and some can completely scrub the minds of people where they can like completely eliminate their thoughts. So it's a really cool concept. I just wasn't really connecting with it at the time, and I didn't really connect with the characters or the romance or anything at all. The romance was not insta-lovey or anything, so that's not the reason. I just couldn't connect to the book. So I ended up giving it 3 stars. I liked it. I'm going to continue with the series, but I'm probably going to wait until the series pops up on Book Outlet in the future. This book I got from Book Outlet, so I'll probably wait for the next book to show up on Book Outlet, etc. because I just don't feel like investing a ton of money into it, but I did enjoy it. So it was kind of really convoluted to say that it was a 3-star book. The second book I read this month was Dash and Lily's Book of Dares by Rachel Cohn and David Levithan, and I already did a review on this, which I will post right here. I ended up really enjoying it. I gave it 4 stars. I thought that it was saying a lot more than a lot of contemporaries do. It had some really good things to say about relationships and how teenage relationships work, and it was just cute, and it was a very good Christmassy read. This takes place around Christmas time and New Year's and stuff, so it was really good for like the beginning of December, which is when I read it, and it was very unexpected, and I liked it a lot more than I thought it would. So 4 stars. The next book that I picked up was Rebel Spring by Morgan Rhodes. This is the second book in the Fallen Kingdom series. We were doing a read-along for this. Me and Marina from A Makeshift Library and Louisina from My Reading Glasses were hosting a read-along, so we read this and then did a live show for it. I will post the link to the live show down below. But I really enjoyed this book. I liked it more than the first book. I really love that this is a very character-driven series. It is a YA fantasy series. A lot of people refer to it as like Game of Thrones light because there's a lot of political maneuverings happening. There's a lot of really like crazy character deaths in it, etc., etc. I don't read it for like the twists and the character deaths. I read it for the character development. There are 4 main characters in this, and the character development is already really good, and it's going to get even better. This is going to be a 6-book series, so I'm really enjoying where the series is going, and I gave this book 4.5 stars. And I'm currently reading Gathering Darkness while I'm filming this, and really enjoying it, which is the 3rd book in the series, so you can look forward to me talking about that in my wrap-up for January. The next book that I picked up was Avalon by Mindee, Arnett, and I really, really enjoyed this book. This is one of my first ventures into sci-fi as far as within book world. I really like sci-fi video games. Mass Effect is one of my favorite video game series of all time, and this reminded me a lot of that. If you guys are video game players at all, I love this series. It is about a group of teenagers who are stealing spaceships for this like crime boss within the galaxy. It is really good. It's a lot of fun. And the main character is actually a male, and I'm not really usually a fan of male protagonists, but I really liked him, and I really liked all the interactions between him and his friends, and a lot of the things he was going through. He is an orphan, so if you really like books about like orphans, he is an orphan, and it's a really good series. If you like Mass Effect and the way that Mass Effect works, I think you really enjoy this. So the sci-fi is fairly light in here. Everything is really kind of easy to understand, and it isn't anything crazy, but it flows really well. It's good for fans of action. It was pretty much non-stop action, and I'm really looking forward to the sequel in this, which is coming out in January or February, I think. So I'll be doing a review on this later on in the month, so you can click here when that is eventually posted, because I'll come back and post it on this. I really enjoyed this book. I ended up giving it 4 stars. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to the rest of the series. The next book that I picked up was Through the Evernight by Veronica Rossi. This is the second book in the Under the Never Sky trilogy. I read Under the Never Sky, I think over the summer sometime. I actually had forgotten a lot about it. I knew that I enjoyed it, but I had forgotten a lot of the main plot threads. Under the Never Sky is a very interesting series because it's kind of dystopian, kind of fantasy, and kind of sci-fi. So it kind of mixes all of those genres together. And it's really interesting too because it takes place in two perspectives. So in this world, the environment is really dangerous. There's all these storms, like lightning storms and craziness happening outside. So a lot of the world has moved inside to these like pod type communities where it's very sci-fi. They are in realms using this like smart eye that takes them into like digital worlds so that they kind of forget that they're living basically in these pods and everything else. So our main girl character is from these pods. The main guy character is from the outside, and this is more of a fantasy world. A lot of people are born with heightened senses. Either they can see really well or they can like sense people's temper. So basically it's kind of like mind reading through smell, or they can hear really well. So it's very kind of fantasy magical outside. So I really enjoyed the second book in the series. It was just as fun as the first book to me. The first book I gave 4 stars, and this book I gave 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I really like the way that the relationships and friendships work within these books. So if you really enjoy action as well as like really character driven, well-formed relationships, I would really recommend this series. The next book that I ended up finishing was My True Love Gave to Me, which is the short story compilation for Christmas that is edited by Stephanie Perkins. It has a bunch of different authors in it that contributed stories. I read this over the 12 days of Christmas, kind of. There's a few days that I skipped, so I kind of jumbled them all into different days. So basically, I tried to read it before Christmas. I think I ended up finishing it the day after Christmas, but I really enjoyed this book. I'm actually going to do a full review on this, kind of individually reviewing all of these stories, but I thought overall this was really cute. I ended up giving overall the book 4 stars. 4 of these stories I ended up giving 5 stars. There was a couple 4 stars in there. A lot of them were 3 stars, and there was 1 2 star. The stories I ended up liking the most, ended up giving 5 stars to, were Stephanie Perkins, Gail Foreman's, Rainbow Rowell's, and Laini Taylor's, I believe. So those are the ones I liked the most, and overall, I liked most of these stories in this book, and it's a really, really cute holiday read. So if you want to pick it up for next year and save it for then, I would really recommend it, because it was just super cute and a lot of fun to read right before Christmas. I then finished another compilation, and that is the novella bind-ups for the Goddess Test series. This is called The Goddess Legacy, and it has 5, I believe, yes, 5 stories that are involving the other gods in the series. So really in this actual trilogy, you were mostly following Hades and Persephone and some of those main ones, but in this one it kind of branches out and you get to see a lot of the other different characters and the other different gods, which I kind of enjoyed. I ended up giving this bind-up overall about 3 stars because I felt like it started to get a little repetitive, and some of these stories were more believable than others, and some of them were just kind of like way out in left field and just kind of really pointless in a lot of ways. But there was a few stories in here that I really enjoyed that really added more to some of the gods' characters from the series and made them a little more relatable. And also there was a story in here about Aphrodite and Ares, which I loved, and I now love Aphrodite and Ares as like a Greek couple. I know I'm probably like thousands of years behind on the times with that, but Hades and Persephone have always been like a Greek couple that I really pull for within like retellings and just within like Greek lore, and now Ares and Aphrodite are right behind them. Hades and Persephone are still at the top, but Ares and Aphrodite, because of this story, are actually like right behind them. So yes, overall 3 stars. It was okay. It kind of rounded out the rest of the series, and I wanted to finish the whole series before the end of the year, so I have now. And I'm actually going to be doing a full review on this whole series sometime this month, hopefully. And the last book that I read this month, which is actually an excellent choice, was Into the Still Blue by Veronica Rossi, the 3rd book in the previously mentioned Under the Never Sky series. This was 5 out of 5 stars. I loved the ending to this. Like I said before, I really like the way that the characters and the relationships are formed, both romantic and platonic, and just how family is developed in this, and it's a really cool world where it's both sci-fi and fantasy, so fans of either genre will really enjoy this story, and it was just really action-packed. These books are really quick reads, like the chapters are fairly small, so you're not like sitting in one person's perspective for too long to where you get bored. They're very quick, very fast-paced. Like, I picked this up and read 70 pages like in one sitting. Like, you just can't put them down. They're a lot of fun, and I really like the way this wrapped up. I really enjoyed the conclusion. I really enjoyed where all the characters end up being, and it was just a really great ending to the series, much like Ignite Me was earlier this year. So when I'm comparing it to Ignite Me, you know it's good. So I really, really enjoyed this series. I'm going to be doing a full review and gush on this series later on this month, so look forward to seeing that. Again, 5 out of 5 stars. If you haven't read this series, it's so addictive, so fast-paced, such great characters, such great relationships. Highly recommend it. Alright guys, that is it for the last month of 2014. That is everything that I read this month. I had a fairly good reading month. What about you guys? I'm looking forward to seeing you all in the new year. Thank you all for watching, and I will see all of you guys very soon. Bye!